for joining us. Jess, it's nice to see your face again.
Thanks, Mick. Nice to be here.
Well, it's great to have you on Sky this morning for On the Pace because, the morning line as it is, because you now have, hard to believe, I know you didn't know this until yesterday afternoon, the favourite for the world's richest harness race, the Eureka. That must feel pretty trippy.
Yeah, it's a bit of a strange one to hear you say out loud. Not sort of something I'll be dwelling on, that's for sure. I get nervous enough as it is. So, but I mean, to have a horse like him going into a race like that, it's, a bit surreal.
A remarkable bit of deja vu from last year when he won the Beautide in Tasmania to winning it again just on Saturday night in a very similar time. Since then, it's been a really rocky road for the horse because he was supposed to go to this race last year. He didn't get there. For those viewers who don't know the whole story behind Fighter Command, what's the last 12 months of his life look like?
Well, the owners actually called me from the barrier draw of the Eureka last year, and at the same time unfolding at home was the saga that the horse had colic, and so ended up rushing him to Ballarat for emergency surgery. We were very lucky we caught it as it was unfolding. So he was, I think, on the table within 2.5 to 3 hours having surgery, and they said if he hadn't been there when he turned up, then he wouldn't have made it. It was very dicey, and we didn't really know if he'd survive at all, let alone race, let alone come back and race the way he is at the moment. So, I mean, it's a testament to the horse and his fortitude because, a lot of them wouldn't have come back from what he's had to go through, and he just seems to love racing.
When you have a horse experience something like that, do you have to train him differently when he comes back? I mean, is there an initial thought of let's not be too hard on him and see how he reacts to everything?
I think initially it was more just in his day-to-day care. I had the kitchen scales in the feed room and everything was measured to the gram because we just had to make sure that his internal system was working better, and then obviously had to have quite a bit of time off with that. But, it is in the back of your mind that you don't really want to push them too hard. Not that that's what brings on colic, but, you do want to look after them, and sometimes we put our own feelings onto the horses a little bit. But, we're always looking after our team anyway. So he was just brought up in the normal sort of prep like the rest of them, and we do keep a little bit of an extra eye on him, that's for sure. But, so far, no signs of it, thank goodness.
He looks a big rangy boy when you see him on television. How big a horse is he for those people who haven't been up alongside him?
Yeah, he's 500 plus kilos. He's a big unit and very green. So we all love him around here. He's a really kind horse, but there is a lot of him to love.
With a horse like him, with how you train, we see a lot more people cantering their horses to keep pressure off their joints. Are you old school, hopple twice a week? Or what do you do with a horse like Fighter Command, particularly a horse that size, to keep him ticking over?
Most of ours, if they're racing, will only hobble once a week. In the lead up in their preps, they'll probably hobble twice a week. But we have different programs for all our different horses. Like you say, a big horse like him, a little bit different. But ours do tend to bowl along quite a bit at home. So a jog day is not necessarily a jog day at Lara J. So you can get away with having the hobbles on a little bit less often around here.
Okay, he's now qualified again for the Eureka, so how do you get from where you are today to the race, which is about 30-odd days away?
Well, he just arrived back on the boat yesterday, so popped him out in the paddock with his best mate Ronald, so they're catching up on his adventures for now. He'll have an easy couple of days. We'll jog him again today and just get a bit of speed back in those legs and get him settled back into Lara J, but I haven't actually looked at the programs. He'll definitely have at least one more start before the Eureka, be it here or in Sydney. I'm not sure at this stage, but he'll definitely need to have another run between here and then, and he'll tell us what he needs. If he puts on a bit much weight or loses condition, we'll just modify plans based on that. But so far he seems really good, and we'll just keep doing the same thing and try our best to make it to the race this time.
We know he's won at Menangle before, and for such a big horse, do you think he might ultimately be more comfortable there than on some of the 1,000-metre tracks?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, the big circuit should suit him. the speed and the way they race at Menangle brought him undone a little bit when he was a bit less mature. But now this time around, he really seems to have pulled it together, and he's learning about racing. He's such a big baby, but the way he races, I think those sort of turns and that will suit him.
Okay, the big baby came home on the boat. You came home on the plane, but it wasn't, I believe, smooth sailing. If you just want to lean back behind you there and show us the Beautide trophy, and apparently the guys at security at the airport were sort of wondering what the hell this was.
Yeah, Hobart security, I think, have put me on a watch list of some description, but returned back to check in and told that one wasn't coming on the plane. So I may have looked a little bit aggressive. I thought I might have been a little bit tired after Saturday night, but they had their eyes on me for sure.
Well, we see the name of your farm there, of course, on your shirt, Lara J Farm. It's been an incredibly challenging time for you since Greg's passing. Who's helped you to enable to keep that business, which you guys both love, ticking over in recent months?
I'm lucky enough that Greg and I had built a terrific family here at Lara J, so I've got a terrific crew of staff around me. Punchy, Craig, Christian, they're my boys. They're here every day, rain, hail or shine, sometimes snow up here. Emma and Penny and Abby that come and clean the yards, my farrier Brendo and the vet Emma, like everyone just rallies around and is here at a moment's notice when I need them. And, I just couldn't be more grateful for having the people around me that I do. James Herbertson's made himself available since coming back from overseas. So having him here to do the fast work trips with me is fantastic and, gives me that edge back again, I think, that I always had with Greg, where he knew the horses at home. So when you get to race day, it makes a difference, just having that little bit of extra intel. So, just having people come and help when I need something welded or, I need a hand with a fence or, there's always someone I can ring. The neighbours are great and, it's as much as life has changed so much and it's lonely when you come inside at night. During the day, there's plenty of people who've put their hand up to help me as much as they can, and I really appreciate that.
There must have been, away from the overwhelming emotion of the loss, an overwhelming amount of response from people texting or social media. I'm sure you haven't had a chance to thank them all, but as small a consolation as anything can be in these situations, it must be heartening to know so many people not only care about you, but of course very deeply loved Greg.
Absolutely. And I had this chat with Herbie on the weekend when we were in Tasmania and said, as much as the horses, are such a difficult part of my life at the moment and the business is pretty overwhelming with the workload and what I'm trying to do now on my own, essentially, losing Greg in the harness racing industry, I'm left with a fantastic community of people around me. A lot of people don't have that, and I think anyone that's been involved in racing in a broader sense really understands that when things get tough, people step in and there are so many people around you wanting the best. So even just going to Tassie on the weekend, so many people I didn't even know were coming up and genuinely wishing us well and, good luck and then congratulations after the race. And that's not always the case when you travel interstate and go and win their races. Everyone's not always that rapt to see you, but just the genuine support from the industry at large has been fantastic and has really made a difference to me being able to get out of bed every morning.
You're going to go to Menangle for the Eureka. Some people in these situations don't know what to do. They don't know whether to come up and mention Greg or give you a hug, or they don't even know whether to text. And I've had that conversation because people don't know what to say. What's your advice to them? Is it okay for people to come up and tell you they're thinking of you and Greg?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm a lot better at it now than I was at the start. But, I don't ever want Greg to be forgotten. I don't want him to be erased from our lives. He's still, very much a part of Lara J. We talk about him all the time and, at least now we can sort of laugh about him a little bit more than we used to. But, no, I like having people approach me. Maybe keep your hugs to yourself. I'm not a mad hugger, but I'm probably all maxed out on hugging strangers at the moment. But besides that, absolutely, it's nice to have people come up and share their memories of Greg and just to check in because it's nice to know that he's not forgotten about.
He surely isn't. We all loved him, and look, so many people were so inspired by what you've done. I know you didn't want to do it, but you've got this far, and you've got the favourite for the Eureka. We'll be there along for the ride with you, as I'm sure will Greg. Thank you for taking the time to talk about something so personal with us, Jess. Good luck for what lies ahead in the next month and a half or so. And yeah, we're looking forward to seeing you at the races. Nice tip about the no hugging. I'll remember that one.